Lots of questions that are coming in about the border also. Border's continuing to be a mess. It looks like we're going to have another record month that came back from September. Now it's early October. We haven't got the final numbers that are in. But the fiscal year for Congress and for the federal budget actually runs from the 1st of October all the way through September the 30th. That means the fiscal year just ended. As the fiscal year just ended, it looks like we're going to have the highest number of people illegally crossing our border in decades and decades. You've heard a lot of people in the media saying, well, it's the highest number in 21 years. Well, we're going to break that number from 21 years ago. That was this record number because so many people are illegally crossing the border, and it's pretty straightforward why. On January the 20th, Biden changed all the rules on immigration and said President Trump was mean, and so we're going to be nicer to people. And what's happened is we've had a flood from all over the world that's actually come at our border because we're the greatest country in the world, and everyone wants to be here. It's not hard when you're the greatest country in the world. If you don't restrict your borders, people from all over the world want to be able to come. And I understand there are progressives here in DC and progressives in Oklahoma that think we should just open our borders up and let anyone want to be able to come. But that collapses our economy, it collapses the basic functioning of our schools, of operation, all those things. We have 1 million people a year that legally come to the United States, that do it the right way, because we do have the most open legal immigration system in the world. That's the right way to be able to go through the process. But we've had over 1 million people that have been interdicted illegally crossing our southern border, and we've got a lot more that are coming at us, and we don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people that we didn't interdict at the border that were crossing in those desert areas when there's all this going on. We've got to be able to finish the basic wall construction. That shouldn't be hard. It's already been paid for. The materials are there. Just President Biden's refused to be able to do it. We should be able to handle the asylum claims. Again, this is not hard. This is policy that was put in place during the Trump administration to deal with asylum claims, to be able to have an orderly process on that. Crazy as it may sound, the federal courts have actually stepped in on the Biden administration and told them that they have to redo and put back in place what President Trump had in place for dealing with asylum claims, to have an orderly process rather than just release them into the country and say you can go anywhere you want for the next 3 years. Here's your court date. We have well over 100,000 people that this administration, the only administration ever in American history to do this, we've got well over 100,000 people that they've just allowed to come into the country that we've not done all the work on at all. And they've just said, when you get to some spot, check in at an ICE agent location and we'll start getting you a court date in the days ahead. No administration has ever done that. So we have a very open border. We have people that are crossing from all over the world, and we should have a structured system of legal immigration, but we should push back on illegal immigration. They're not doing it. So I had more conversations again with Ali Mayorkas, with DHS, continue to be able to push on this area. We continue to be able to identify those spots, to be able to get leverage points on them. The courts continue to be able to press on the Biden administration. But constitutionally, the Biden administration has got to do its job, enforce the laws. That's the responsibility of the president. So we'll continue to be able to accelerate into this. We are making some progress and having some areas that they're actually having to close the loop on, but we have a very long way to go on this. I'm proud of Governor Stitt, actually, for going to the border and actually addressing this again and continuing to say every state is a border state when drugs are coming in to every single state in America, including Oklahoma. So we should continue to be able to address them and continue to encourage our Border Patrol because they've had a really tough time. So when Governor Stitt and others, and I've been down there multiple times this year, continue to encourage those folks, they could use the encouragement.